Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Hey, everyone. Hey,
Hi, everybody.
shithead.
Hey, our beautiful, beautiful heads of shit.
Oh, let's polish them like a turd.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
You can't polish a turd. I'm always like, who tried to polish a turd?
Yeah, why did they say polish
I
a
don't
turd? Do we need to
know.
look this up immediately?
Yes.
Yes.
The word of the day is
Polish a turd. No, I'm going to let you do it because you're always faster.
of American English origin. The slang phrase, you can't polish a turd means, you cannot improve something which is inherently or unalterably unpleasant or of poor quality.
Oh, I guess you literally cannot polish a turd.
Scrolling through my feed, all I see is bullshit. Fake news, clickbait, gotta sift through all of it. Oh, like share, retweet, trying to keep up with the trends, but it's all just a facade, man, it's all pretend. Online bullshit, that's all it is. You say you're living large, but I know it's just a myth. Online bullshit, can't you see? We're all caught up in the nonsense, it's time to break free.
I'm totally loopy, guys. I was slaving last night to bring this show to you, which is going to be really, really fun. But it's a lot of like clips within very long recordings. So
okay.
I sort of had to like go back and forth and find like exactly where we needed to start and end. So it took a while, and there's a lot of shit going on.
And we're on our true crime bullshit right now.
Yeah.
I'm reading books and websites about Amanda Knox. I'm still obsessed.
Yeah, and I am reading, and this is the subject of today, an OG Anne Rule classic, Small Sacrifices, which I am surprised I have never read because here's my memory of this book. My mother read it like at some point, like after it came out. Actually, I think when it came out in 1988.
And you were 12.
I was 12. I was in middle school. I remember this specifically.
Okay.
Because I did bring it to read it for a silent sustained reading hour.
And did the teacher say, what the fuck is that?
The teacher asked if I could ask my mother if she could borrow it.
That's amazing.
And then I went to my mom and she was like, I don't know her.
So do you think that take from your mom is like, I don't know if she's going to ruin my book?
Yeah, no, she was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get it back. Like this was back in the day. Like if you had the book, that's what you had.
Yeah.
You didn't have
you
like a
can't
PDF
go get, like,
copy,
a Kindle.
Yeah, so she was like, she was not giving up that book.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
she held it dear.
She held all books, all true crime books in which women murder their children.
Yeah.
Very dear to their hearts.
Did she ever buy a Jean Bonnet book?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Well, maybe by then you were 20, so you were out of the house.
Yeah. Well, she is a voracious reader. I had one book about it, Perfect Murder, Perfect Town.
Oh, okay.
So I think she probably picked that one up. Because I know it's still in her bookshelf. My mom got me onto true crime. Yeah. Which, you know what? I'm not against it because it's really fun for me.
Well, we're all learning to protect ourselves.
Isn't it weird, though? Because what I'm going to show you guys are a bunch of recordings that were made sort of concurrently with this case. And so I've been listening to them kind of all week. The reason that we decided to do this is because Katie wanted me to do Lucy Letby.
Yes.
And I watched 5 minutes of the
Netflix?
Investigating Lucy Letby or something like that.
Is it Netflix?
It's a Netflix documentary. And
this is the one where they use some AI people, too.
I wouldn't.
You probably hadn't gotten that far, but it is odd. Anyways.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah.
Okay. The aftermath of the Lucy Letby case has been that like maybe she didn't do it. There was this whole like report made by like this big panel of doctors who was like, it wasn't her fault. It was like consistent, issues with this NICU, with this hospital.
Yeah. And to me, then add up the number of baby deaths when 17. She wasn't working there.
Yeah. Well,
but they're like, well, that's not really a good way to do the data either.
Yeah.
I'm listening to Amanda Knox do this podcast.
Oh, yes. That's why you wanted me to explain Lucy Letby because you're like, Amanda's boring.
Well, also, I was going to critique her podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did like make some recordings where she just makes it about herself.
Yeah, yeah.
Which some people would point out, like, yeah, well, that's why you want her there to do that podcast so she can explain what it's like
Mm-hmm.
to become demonized by the media.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I get it. But there is this underlying question of like, did she kill these babies?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it was just too sad, right?
Yeah. And
so many babies.
it was so many babies. And also, it opens with the arrest footage.
Yeah.
Of Lucy Letby. I don't know which side of the fence I'm on yet. Haven't watched it, but is some pretty solid evidence. Red Handed did an episode to like a Lucy Letby update episode, and it was pretty compelling. And the expertise of the doctors was really high level. So like this isn't coming from like, her defense team and some paid expert.
And that is really interesting to me, but
oh, yeah.
I don't know much about babies in the NICU. Like my judgment of it is not going to be educated at all.
Yeah. Well, also it's just like, I mean, we are dealing with child death today, but I just didn't want to deal with 17 babies.
Yeah.
And also, once again, to see like the arrest footage and to think, oh my God, if she didn't do this, like she's shell-shocked, she's devastated. They let her like pick up her cat and kiss it goodbye.
Okay.
And then her mom is screaming as she's being led to the police car. And she's like, Mom, be quiet. It's so sad and so chaotic. And
because
I'm like, she never saw
Amanda watches it on her podcast.
Yeah.
And they only play like the very beginning of them like coming in the door or something. Like nothing ever comes out of it. I was thinking maybe nothing audio worthy happened in the tape and that's why.
No.
But it's like, no, all this stuff happens.
No, because you see them like go into her room and she's like just woken up.
Oh, okay.
And like they're like, you're under arrest, and she's just like gobsmacked.
Okay.
And like immediately I was like, okay, if she didn't do this is the worst thing that has ever happened to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't deal with that. So,
okay,
Miss Diane Downs, she is another child murderer, but she just got one, so that's okay. No, it's not.
Well, it's easier.
It's easier to deal with.
And plus, she's very interesting.
She is okay. I got to tell you,
she's pretty obviously just guilty.
Oh,
There's no innocence.
That's the
argument for her.
Here's the thing. Okay, we're gonna find out.
Okay,
that Diane Downs basically, I'll tell the story in a second, but she shot her 3 kids in cold blood in the back of her car.
Yeah.
And so I never want to forget that as we're talking about this, but Diane Downs is so low-key fucking hilarious because she's so psychopathic.
Yeah. She like has no idea.
She's so psychopathic, she's autistic. It's really weird. She's just like, there's so many cues she doesn't get.
Right.
But she moves through the world with such fucking confidence.
Yeah.
And she just talks and talks and talks and talks and talks and talks and talks.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't get a word in edgewise. And so
yeah,
she
takes the rope and hangs herself.
Oh my God. So let's get into it.
Did she also drive her car into a lake?
No, that was Susan Smith.
God, there's so many of these women. And they're all alliterative.
Yeah, it's Diane Downs, Susan Smith. You're right.
Except for Andrea Yates. See, I get her confused in there too, even though with the new documentary, I got more info about what the fuck's going on there.
Yeah.
It's different.
Andrea Yates is like, she's severely like mentally ill, not how Diane is. Like,
right.
Yeah, Andrea Yates is a really sad story. This is going back to an 80s classic. Come back with us to 1983. Duran Duran, Hungry Like a Wolf. Ooh.
Okay,
for copyright purposes, that's all I can play.
Okay.
But why did he play that song, Katie? Why do you think?
To set the mood of the 80s.
To set the mood of the 80s. You know, it's nice to have a bop. Oh, and that's the song that was playing in the car when Diane Downs shot her 3 kids in cold blood.
How do we know that?
Because it was in the tape player, and eventually testimony would come out that that's what was playing.
Testimony from who?
Christy, her daughter, her 8-year-old daughter.
Oh, so, my God. Okay.
Yeah. Let me get into the story so we know.
Okay.
We have some orientation here. Diane Downs, divorced, 28-year-old mail carrier. She was like a mail lady who at around 10:30 p.m. on May 19th, 1983. Dates are going to be especially important because this is a real compressed sort of case. It went from she did it, they arrested her, they tried her, and she was in jail in less than a year.
Okay.
Which is
really
amazing.
quick.
Really quick, but also, like, her guilt was so obvious. But anyway, so on May 19th, 1983, she drove her 3 children, Christy, 8, Sherilyn, 7, and Danny, 3, to an isolated area on Old Mohawk Road in Springfield, Oregon, and shot each of them as they slept in the backseat of her new red Nissan. Subsequently, she drove, according to a witness who was stuck behind her on a one-lane road for 10 minutes, extremely slowly, 5 to 7 miles per hour is what is always quoted, which I'm like, that's not even moving in a car.
No,
It's like-
because 20 feels like you're moving like lava.
No, yeah, 20 feels slow enough. Okay, sidebar. Here's a little pro tip.
Uh-huh.
If you're ever being like questioned by an attorney or a cop and they ask you to estimate time
Yeah.
or distance, do not do it. Human beings are very bad at estimating time and distance. And then once like your estimation goes on the record, that can be used to like confirm or deny other people's testimony. And you have no actual idea.
Yeah, so you think this person who estimates 5 to 7 miles per hour is just like wrong?
I think they're wrong, but also I have no doubt she was going incredibly slow because she wanted her kids to bleed out. Like that's...
Oh, God. Because was she going to drive him to the hospital? Is that
Well,
what
she was
doing?
driving them to the hospital, and she said,
Okay.
I rushed here.
Okay.
And, yeah. And no, she did not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what that means. So,
God, that's crazy.
yeah, she drove extremely slowly to nearby Mackenzie Willamette Hospital, presumably, like I said, in order to make time for her kids to bleed out. At some point on the way, Diane shot herself in the forearm to help stage her later story to the cops, which is that she had been out, quote unquote, sightseeing with the kids, and they were on their way home when an unkept, quote unquote, shaggy haired man, it's like a bushy haired man or a shaggy haired man.
I thought it was a black guy again.
No, you know what? They
Yeah.
sometimes use that as the bushy-haired man or a shaggy-haired man as a euphemism for she didn't, though.
Okay.
So she was, I mean, psychopath though she may be, she's not a racist.
Good.
Yeah. So this shaggy-haired man flagged them down in the middle of the road that she did not need to go down.
Mm-hmm.
Demanded Diane give him her car, and when she wouldn't, he shot her 3 kids 5 times point blank in the back seat and shot Diane in the arm. This is a bullshit story. Look, this is not going to be like a mystery kind of story. It's very obvious Diane did it.
Right.
You know, that's not what we're not focusing on that kind of story.
But then okay, so, according to Diane, he came along and shot each one of her kids and her, and then she drove off to the hospital. She just stayed in the car the whole time?
I mean,
she doesn't talk about
we'll
it,
get to her story.
Okay.
But like her story is like constantly shifting. But the first story that she has made up is he shot the kids, he shot her in the arm, and then she pretended to throw her car keys into the bush to distract him.
Yeah.
She went into the car and drove away really fast. She reenacts it with the cops. I have that video. We'll watch it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so when they eventually reach the hospital, Sherilyn, dead on arrival.
Uh-huh.
So she's the baby who died. Danny, paralyzed from the waist down.
Okay.
I don't know if that is still true. He might be to this day.
Yeah.
Because these kids would be like 50, like my age at this point.
Oh.
And Christy would suffer a stroke at the hospital that made her temporarily unable to speak.
Oh.
Yeah. The reason why this isn't a mystery is because at the hospital, suspicion immediately kind of fell on Diane because she was so, like, not stoic isn't even the word.
Mm-hmm.
She was like lighthearted, a little giggly, flirtatious with the cops. First, we're going to go to the 5/23/1983 reenactment. So this is the Monday after the shooting. So not a long time.
Okay.
All right. Diane is still in the hospital.
We're at the Lane County shops off of Delta right now. The date today is May the 23rd, 1983. Time is approximately 15:05. We're going to do a videotape reenactment of a murder that took place on Old Mohawk Road near Markle Road on May the 19th, 1983. Case number is 83-3268. Sitting in the car is Elizabeth Diane Downs, one of the victims of this attempt murder. The car we're using is a police car, detective car. What we'll do is walk through this simulation, and Elizabeth will tell us what happened. I'll play the part of the suspect walking up from the front of the car.
I hope he really gives his all to the acting. It's me, the bad guy.
I mean, no.
We'll go to the car and see a couple of dolls that were placed in the back seat, simulating their position in the back seat of the car. Mrs. Downs' car is a 2-door. This is a 4-door. There's a little difference there, of course. We'll open the door and we'll let you look in and see the position of the children in the back seat and the little girl who is in the front seat covered with a sweater, a postal sweater. So I'll walk up to the fan of the car, and Mrs. Downs will open her car door and we'll go from there.
What's the problem?
What's your car?
Nope, goes further. He didn't say anything, and I just kept waiting. Okay, we got this far. Okay.
What's your car?
You gotta be kidding. I'll shake my arm. Shake me back. Back. Just reaches in. Starts firing. I was watching Christy.
Fires into Christy.
Christy first. Danny.
Fires into Danny.
Cheryl.
Fires into Cheryl and it turns.
Okay. Swings halfway back. He looks at me, but he's not all the way around.
I want your car.
Look down. Okay. Your attention goes, you swing around at the same
time. What are you
time.
indicating there?
I'm throwing the keys, okay? I'm throwing the keys.
Simulating.
Yes, but I didn't let go of them. He thinks I threw them, but I did not throw them, okay?
I want your car. She pretends to throw the keys.
Yeah.
She laughs.
He thinks I threw them.
He thinks I threw them.
Throw them, okay? He swings around at the same time. He's watching the keys and he swings around and shoots. Probably he thought he shot me in the stomach. I don't know. Caught my arm. Okay. Your attention keeps following the keys. I go like that. I got in the car, jumped in, put the keys in. I just hit my cast. Started the car and left. The car door shut itself. God damn. This is worse than... Okay, and that's...
John, can we...
Okay, just stop it there. Because that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But she says, like, that was worse than, and then she cuts herself off, and everybody's like, that
When
was
I
worse
shot
than when I shot
myself?
myself in the arm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like you could say that was worse than when I got shot, but it's like
You know, she.
it's also not.
Yeah.
It's also probably not worse than that.
Yeah.
But,
And the thing
yeah.
is, it's like, okay, so it's kind of obvious that it's like, oh, mom got shot in the arm while the kids were like blasted, you know, with like 5 gunshots.
Oh, were they?
Not each of them. It was 5
But
total.
5 total for 3 kids.
5 total for, so it was like bam, 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 bam.
Did she just like miss?
What?
Or was it just like, I gotta unload this clip?
I think, yeah, I don't, you know, I mean, in terms
you
of
don't
Diane
have to
doing
know.
it,
You
I
don't
don't
have to
know,
know.
like, what her thoughts were as she was, like,
Yeah,
aiming a gun at
yeah.
her sleeping children.
Oh my God.
That's something nobody should know. I hate to say it, but because there's dead kids involved, she's bumbling in many, many ways. She's, like, such a klutz
Yeah.
with everything.
If this had been a real carjacking
Uh-huh.
and this victim, okay,
Mhm.
Diane,
Yeah.
and they're like, why don't you act it out for us? Do you think
Uh-huh.
like the real victim would be like, are you fucking kidding me? You know, or they would just be upset as they were doing it and not laughing like she is.
Well, I'm surprised that so the shooting happened Thursday, the 19th.
Yeah.
This is Monday, the 23rd.
Yeah.
I would still be sedated.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. Considering like one of your children is dead, one of them
Right,
is paralyzed, one of them
right.
can't speak.
Right.
How can you just be like, ow, that hurt more than when I, oops. I mean, but this is like the general tone that
Yeah.
you're getting
Yeah.
from the moment.
From her all the time.
From the moment she comes to the hospital.
Mhm.
Like, this is what you're getting. There is a bedside interview, and we're going to go back to May 21st. So this is literally less than 48 hours after her kids have been shot. The first thing that Diane does when she gets to the hospital is she calls her friend, Nick.
Is that her boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay.
His Nick Knickerbocker. She recently moved to Eugene, Oregon, to be closer to her parents.
Okay.
He is down in Chandler, Arizona, where she used to live. They were having an affair for a long time. She was very into the relationship. Nick is married. And she was just a side piece to him. But that's not computing. Well, let me just play this and we can talk about it. So,
okay.
yeah.
I was saying how I didn't want Nick to find out about this because Nick is the type of a person that doesn't like hassles. I explained to you how I had viral meningitis at the first of the year and he turned his back on me. And I don't really think it was so much the illness as the fact that it was a kink. It was something that he had to deal with and he didn't want to. He likes a nice, smooth life.
She says, it was a kink. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't mean it like that.
No,
She's
when
like,
she says
it's a-
kink, she means hassle.
Yeah, like a
it's-
kink in the armor.
Exactly.
A chink.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
A kink, like a weird thing that he doesn't
Just a
want in his life.
problem.
A problem, yeah.
Well, at least she realizes that.
Yeah, true.
He likes women to take care of him and cater to him, and he just sits back. All he has to do is work.
Is that what you do?
And yeah, but so does his wife.
Oh.
But so he's got it made either way. But he enjoyed being with me more. We had a lot more things to do that were fun. There were just ways that I made him happier than she did. And so that's why he felt a stronger attraction to me. But with me being out of the state, the attraction, if he wanted to have just a little bit better, he's got it fine with his wife. They don't get along all the time, but basically they do. But if he wants the stronger attraction with me, he had to move to Oregon, and he didn't want to. So anyway, that was a kink. But I was saying that I didn't want to tell him about this incident because I knew it would scare him off for good.
Okay, so
But
already we're off to the races.
so interesting because I had read that she did do this because her boyfriend didn't want kids.
That's exactly
So it's like,
what
you
she
would think
did.
like, yeah, she
Yeah.
calls him right away to be like, guess what?
Uh-huh. Next clip we will play. It's a long one, but I really do want us to listen to it all.
That was just another kink.
Yeah. But I mean, already, first of all, she's like talking to the cops like she's talking to her girlfriend about her boyfriend who's like being an asshole.
Totally.
Yeah. He was like, he wouldn't want to hear about this because he's gonna like hassle. So she's thinking of this as like a hassle.
Do you think she really is? This isn't just what she's telling them. She's like being very honest, isn't she?
Throughout this, you will find she does not know
Yeah.
how she comes off and how
Right.
people take her.
Right.
It really is almost like a handicap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and she's not stupid, but this makes her look stupid because she just can't see anything that is going on. That she's so self-centered. It's like everything is about her. Everything. And everybody else is just like, she's main character. Always. Always.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this is still the same interview. We've
This
just
is the
jumped
same
ahead.
interview. And it's actually, she talked to them for an hour and a half. So this is all the second tape.
But he doesn't like kinks, like I said, and if I'm calling and harassing Charlene, he doesn't like that. But anyway, so he was caught between doing what he wanted to do and what he felt that he needed to do. So this last time he moved out of his place, he was living in an apartment. He and I were getting along just fine. And then Charlene did something. And it just screwed him up real good. And he said, that's it. I'm taking off for Texas. They came from Texas. I'm going to go think for a while. And he took off for 2 weeks. He didn't tell me he was leaving or anything. And I was pretty much staying with him at the time. And he had been promising to make me popcorn and stuff like that, which he never got around to making the popcorn. Because I would stay with my kids in the evening. And after they would go to sleep and my sister would come home, I'd go on over to Nick's. So it was usually late enough that it was too late to make popcorn and sit and eat in the middle of the night, you know. So anyway, he took off for Texas at this time. He was gone for 2 weeks, and during that 2 weeks, Eugene Oregon called and said, hey, do you want to transfer to Eugene? And I said, yes. And the reason I took the transfer was because I couldn't stand to watch him go crazy forever. He would forever gone back and forth between her and me. And it never would have resolved anything. I would have been his mistress forever and ever. And I don't like that. I'm better than that. I deserve better than that. I deserve as much as anybody else. And so I couldn't stand there and watch that anymore. Because he'd get real bad headaches. It was just bad on him. And so when he came back, I was supposed to leave in about 2.5 weeks. And he came in 3 weeks. And he came back from his trip. And I said, Nick, I'm leaving. I explained to him that I was leaving. And he says, okay, that's fine. He's hard-headed as can be, and I still love that about him, but he's bullheaded, stubborn, male pride, chauvinist, if you want to call it, but I still love him. And he says, fine, Diane, maybe it's best that way. And that isn't what I wanted to hear, but I expected it of him. And I said, but I do want you to have some pictures that were taken of me, some professional pictures. Did you see the pictures on my TV?
Yes.
The pictures of me. And the pictures of Nick. The pictures of Nick on the TV is the man. That's Nick.
That's who that is.
Yeah.
We were wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll put it there.
She immediately gives them permission to like go search her place
Oh, okay.
for anything. So that's why she's talking to the cops. It's like, oh, you saw those pictures. But the thing is, it's like when they go to her apartment, like granted, she kind of just moved, but there's like literally nothing there. Like there's very little food.
Yeah, I was thinking like
There's-
stuff that you'd want to have if you had kids.
Yeah,
to
no,
take
exactly.
care of.
All there was like Dinty Moore, like ravioli,
Yeah.
like in the garbage. It's just very spare, very little furniture, just like beds for the kids. I don't know if they were on the floor,
Oh.
but like I haven't read far enough into the Anne Rule book yet, but her ex-husband Steve, who is the father of two of those children, Chrissy and Sherilyn, would say that she was terrible. Like as a mother, she just had no maternal instinct, really.
Well, you always said she just liked being pregnant, right?
She loved being pregnant.
Like that's
Yeah.
kind of where the motivation to have kids
Yeah.
centered
Well,
was
no, I
just the being pregnant.
Yeah, she loved being pregnant because she got like a lot of attention. People were really nice to her. And I think she liked kids before they could talk because they were just like, they were all about her, reaching out to her,
Right.
loving her.
That gives you attention too. If you have a little
Exactly.
baby,
Yeah.
you know?
But then once they start to get personalities, 7 or 8, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
you know, she loses control. And for a psychopath like her, the loss of control is absolutely unconscionable.
Uh-huh.
So that has a lot to do with it. But yeah, she will talk a lot about,
I have
love
all
my-"
these pictures of my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I'm guessing none of her kids.
None of her kids.
Yeah.
But she did have, weirdly enough, she had like a little unicorn figurine that had like on the bottom engraved the names of her children and then like some date. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. It doesn't matter. But she had that made shortly before she did the shooting.
And is it to look like commemorative or something?
I think it was like a memory piece.
Yeah.
She was, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like in memoriam, but before she fucking shot him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're always doing shit like
They
that.
really are. I mean, I think it makes them feel like when she does talk about like the whole day, which she does in this tape, but we're not getting into that. The whole day before, it's very idyllic. And it's very much, oh, and we went to see our friend's horse, and Sherilyn cut some roses for me and for Christy. And it's just, you know, and it was such an idyllic time that they had. And I feel like they might have had a really great time that day. And I think the way Diane justifies it to herself, she's like, well, at least I gave them a good day before I killed them.
Yeah, but that even seems too nice for like a psychopath, but that's really interesting.
You know, that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know what I think about that.
She's unique in the same vein that Casey Anthony kind of is.
Uh-huh.
And also like in the way that Jodi Arias is. Because at least in terms of Jodi Arias, well, we'll get back to that. Let's finish this story.
God, I would love to get Casey Anthony and Jodi Arias in a room together.
Oh my God.
They probably wouldn't like each other.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, because it's like they both need to utterly control the room and be the center of attention.
I think Amanda Knox should do a podcast where she gets them together. Okay, that's just my idea, okay? TM.
Seriously, we should make that happen. Okay.
I think Amanda needs to use her notoriety in this way to do more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you imagine if Amanda Knox interviewed Casey Anthony? Oh my God, that would be so interesting.
Stop making me come. All right. Let's play the rest of it.
I wanted him to have those pictures of me because I was going to be gone. And he takes pictures of, he's not a flip person. If he loves somebody, he loves them, and that's it. He doesn't just sleep with anybody. And so I wanted him to have pictures because he had pictures of every girl that he'd ever really been close to. And so I gave him the pictures. And he took them and said, okay, fine. Then the next day after work, he said, Diane, I want you to come over to the apartment for a while. And I said, why? He goes, because I want you to take some rain gear. It rains a lot in Oregon, and I had no rain gear. I was from Arizona. I'd only been a carrier for 2 years, and he was from Texas, where it rained a lot.
Does it rain a lot in Oregon?
It rains a lot here.
It's a nice rain. It really is. So he says, I want you to come get some rain gear. I don't need it here in Arizona, and you just come and get it and take it with you. And I said, okay, fine. So I went to his apartment, and he ended up teasing me, and I said, Nick, please don't tease me. So we ended up fooling around. And then I looked at him later and I said, why did you do that? And he goes, because I was teasing and it wasn't there. So we ended up fooling around. And then the next day, it was the next day. After work, he was just fine. He was just the same old Nick. We were still buddies at work, still real close, but there was no real intimacy. We were just... But that's what I really loved about us. We didn't have to ever really fool around. There was just an intimate closeness that a lot of people never have. And I'll never forget that. And I'll never regret the fact that I had a relationship with him because of that. He made me feel special no matter what. So anyway, there was still that closeness between us, and he couldn't take it away and couldn't deny it. And that night, it was on Wednesday, he called me up about 9 o'clock and he goes, Diane, do you still want that popcorn? I went, yeah, where are you? And he says, I'm at the apartment, come on over. Well, up until then, he'd been back at Charlene's house. So I went over there and I was sitting on the bed. It was just a one-room apartment type thing. I was sitting on the bed. And he was walking around straightening stuff up and dusting because he hadn't been back there since he had gone to her house. And he's super clean. I mean, the man irons his Levi's. He's immaculate. And he was walking around and I kept biting my tongue and I said, Nick, I am dying to find out what is going on. And he goes, nothing. I haven't been drinking. I haven't been smoking. Charlene and I haven't had a fight. I'm just not happy there. I'm not comfortable with her. I want to be with you. And I said, fine. And so from that point on, he said, I want you to move in with me and stay here, at least till you have to leave. And I said, okay. And then as the 2.5 weeks progressed, I fly, and I was taking flying lessons at the time, and I soloed before I left. And I was doing all kinds of stuff. He was doing all kinds of stuff. He went out flying with me one time. And
she's taking flying lessons?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know too much about that, but apparently, yeah, she's an avid heirs woman.
And then she'd take her boyfriend out.
Yeah.
So, like, does that mean there's
flights.
an instructor? Or no, she, like, did enough hours that then she could fly alone?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a dedicated thing.
Yeah. I mean, why didn't she just, like, fly a plane into the side? Like, fly a plane.
Yeah.
Go towards the side of a mountain and jump out with your kids.
We have way better ideas for her.
Seriously, she really fucked us up.
I don't know if she thought about it too, like, well, how can I look the least guilty? Or if that occurs to her. Because if you jump out and leave your kids.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but you could tell, like, any story. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he got to pile up the plane, and we just had so much fun. We'd go out with our friends and have our farewell parties and stuff. And it was so good. We were so happy. Once I was cooking supper, and he started big old tears right in his eyes. And I went over and I kneeled down and I said, what's the matter? And he said, it just makes me so sad when I think of you leaving. I mean, there's so many promises that were made, so many dreams that were planned. And he says, I want you to ask the postmaster to let you stay. And I said, okay. And he had this gold chain that his first, he's been married twice. That's another reason he hesitates to get divorced again, because he's already been divorced once. He's afraid. Third try, you're out, He worries about it, because he is a person that likes to be cared for the rest of his life. And I guess Shirley had convinced him that I was unstable. And yeah, it all makes sense.
Can you believe his wife told him that I was unstable?
Wow. But I'm wondering, did he think any of that? Or is this how men kind of are when they're fucking someone and they're like, I mean, she's crazy, but I'm still going to get that pussy.
No, exactly.
I think that happens a lot.
Uh-huh. No, I think that's exactly what happened. We're going to hear a lot from Nick.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yes. But let's finish this. I just want to get to the end
I know
of the
there's
story.
like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes me even more unstable, and Nick really wouldn't trust me. Anyway, all this comes together as I talk. I'm sorry, things in my mind come out. So. Okay, so he had this chain that he got from his first wife. She bought it for him, and she was a real bitch. And he got real mad at her one time and ripped it off and threw it at her because she would always throw it up and say, well, look what I did for you. I bought that chain. It was $150 or $200 or whatever. And look what I've done for you, and you're doing nothing for me, et cetera, Yeah, that's exactly what he thought.
Big deal.
Big deal. So he ripped it off and threw it at her and didn't put it on until he was getting his divorce. and then he put it on, and he's worn it ever since. Well, he and Charlene had a real big fight a few months ago, and she ripped it off, gouged a big hole in his neck, and broke it. And that's the second time it had been off in his life. And she went and got it fixed and apologized and everything. He put it back on. He's the only person that's ever worn that chain. It's only been off those 2 times. And when I was there at the apartment one night, I wear 2 gold chains with a diamond on it. And he goes, "Take that shit off your neck." And I went, "What? My gold and diamond?" She says, "Yeah, take it off." And I took it off, and I said, "All right, why?" And he goes, "Because you're going to wear this. You're a mixed woman."
What do you think?
What's the movie we love, Fatal Attraction?
Yes, yeah.
She's that lady, and she is gossiping with the cops
Yes.
about how much, don't you think that means he loves me?
Mhm.
I think that means that.
Yeah. Also, that story is so clearly made up. I don't think
Oh,
it's
do
made
you
up.
think?
Oh, no.
I was wondering.
Listen to how perfect that story is for her ego
Yeah.
to be like, because it puts her in a position of being greater than his 2 previous
Well,
wives.
I don't see why he would go out of his way to make her feel that way.
I don't think that did not happen.
Because he didn't, yeah.
Yeah, that absolutely did not happen. So she's making up this story, and she's telling it to the cops less than 48 hours after her children were shot and 1 died.
Yeah.
This is her tone.
This is what she is thinking about.
Yeah. It
That's
becomes very clear that she's still full on in obsession with Nick.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. So this doesn't even redirect her attention.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm obsessed with psychopaths. I'm obsessed with narcissists. And it's because they're impossible to understand. They just go by a whole different set of rules.
I just feel like at the end of the day, it's all about how they feel.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, this makes me feel good, so I'm going to do this.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes Diane talks about, especially in some later calls with Nick, about how she, feels lonely.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, she feels lonely, and I think she genuinely misses her kids, but only because she's like, I have nobody to talk to. That's the level at which she misses her children. She was like, oh, it's kind of nice to have them around occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all, the ones that are alive are just in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
Because where's Daddy?
Well, Daddy is...
Because she just moved, too.
She
that
moved,
complicates
and also,
it.
Steve isn't...
a
great guy. And I don't think he has any paternal instinct for them, and I don't think he fought for them. He was like, fine, if you want to take them. Yeah.
Okay.
Steve is only a character in this to the extent that Diane wants to blame Steve for what happened. Her story is going to become that either Steve or Charlene hired somebody.
Wow.
To kill, on a road that she'd never gone down before. They were just waiting. They're like, I know she's going to go down this road.
Yeah.
This isolated, woody road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the story that she gets into. And the only calculated reason I would think that she would spend so much time talking about Nick is because she wants to lead the cops to that situation, because she thinks that she can convince them that either Nick or Charlene hired somebody to do it.
Yeah.
But also, it's very possible that she's just not thinking about that at all.
Yeah.
She's just talking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Which is mind-boggling, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway, so after this interrogation, apparently the cops contact Nick. They ask him to reach out to Diane and then record their phone call. Now there are I think 6 rather long phone calls between them that Nick recorded. They're so strange because Nick and she obviously have some kind of fucked up rapport.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they do have I don't know, it's they really are friends who understand each other in a weird way. He calls her first to be like, hey, I got the police on my ass. What's going on? They're asking me to take a lie detector test. And so she do not want Nick to take a lie detector test because Nick knows the kids were shot with a .22.
Mm.
And, Diane says, I don't have a .22, but Nick knows that when she moved from Chandler to Eugene, that she had a .22 with her that she got from her husband and knew how to shoot it. So she knows that he's going to be asked those questions on the lie detector test.
Mm-hmm.
So she does have a very specific calculated reason
Mm-hmm.
for it. But then it's she can have a reason for something, but then her mind goes awry because she has to make a fantasy out of everything.
Nick, there's no way I could have done it.
All their lab tests prove I didn't do it. The time element proves I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Diane, you know,
What?
I can't, you tell me you didn't do it, fine. But there's nothing I can do. I can't say, well, she didn't do it, so let her alone.
I know that. I'm not asking you to. I'm simply trying... Never mind, Nick. You don't understand what I'm doing. I'm not asking for help for myself. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing anybody can do. Only time is going to take care of this. I'm only trying to help you help yourself. Because I've been through it before. I've been through the pressure. I've been through the questioning. I've been through the whole shit. I'm simply trying to save you a few headaches and a few scars. But you don't want to listen.
I'm just a hardhead.
I know. Always were. That's right. Well, it's your decision. I'm not, I can't make you promise to do anything. And I don't want to. You're a grown man. You know what's best for you. But I only know what can become of a lie detector. And I know that if they make that lie... See, Nick, they're trying to find a sacrifice. I think they're
trying to find out who did it, Diane.
Maybe they won't because they aren't looking for him. Don't you understand? They aren't looking for the man that did this. They're only looking at me and my associates, people that I know. And I did not know the person that did this. I haven't got the vaguest idea on where to start looking for this person. So obviously, people have called in. There's a lady that's called in. She knows somebody that looks just like the drawing that was made up. And the man is absolutely insane. He's the kind of person that would do such a thing just because he was refused. He shot a girl's horse, chopped up her furniture, tried to kill her just because she wouldn't date him anymore. The man's crazy, and he's a dead ringer for the drawing. The cops haven't checked up on him.
Well, how do you know?
Because the lady is... Hold on. The lady that had the description called the police and said, I know about a guy that looks just like this, whatever, and they didn't come out to question her until my dad called them and said, why aren't you going to check? And then they made a half-assed approach. They went and talked to her, took a statement, description, whatever, and then she says, my daughter has pictures of this guy. She will be here in a week. Come back and we'll get you the picture. And they never came back. They don't want to find anybody. They've made fools of themselves. They've made statements to the paper that I am the suspect. They made statements to the paper that after their grand jury they were going to bring an indictment. Then after grand jury they said, well, we've decided to wait. And the only person they were going to indict was me because they picked me apart in grand jury. They exposed parts of my personal life to my family and my friends that nobody knew about. They fabricated a lover for me here and embarrassed him in front of people. It has been a very dirty, dirty mess. That's why we're suing, and that's why they need to hang me, or whoever. If they can make it look like it was an old lover or a lover's wife or whatever, they know they'll get out of the lawsuit.
So clear as mud?
About the drawing?
Yeah.
It looks like Diane.
No, I thought the same thing.
This picture of her.
Yeah, no, it does. It's interesting that they're juxtaposed. What we're talking about, guys, is in the book, which I love. There's that old-fashioned photo insert right in the middle of your true crime book.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just like having a book in my hand, like reading about murder. I don't know, it just brings me back.
And getting to look at evidence in those pictures.
Yeah. And I mean, all this shit's online now, but
So,
I'm just like, oh.
One drawing like a drawing guy did. That's what they call them, right?
Yeah,
drawing guys?
Yeah, one drawing the drawing guy did. Yeah, the police drawing guy.
And then she did what?
No, her brother did the second one.
Oh, okay.
And the second one is the one that looks disturbingly like Diane Downs herself.
With a bunch of eye makeup on.
Yeah. What I love about that clip is, like, you can hear her spinning her wheels in real time.
Oh, yeah. She can't figure out what to say quick enough.
Yeah.
She really can't.
Yeah, she's like, wait a second. I have to figure out a lie.
Hang on.
Okay, got one.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but I love how she finally comes in for a landing, is like, oh, yeah, they don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
And she's like spinning, and then she's like, oh, I got it. I'm landing on it. Yeah, I just think that it makes me laugh because she's so bad at it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just so, everything she does is so fucking transparent, and that's why I find her funny. 3 shot children, I know. I just want to keep on reminding that I'm aware.
People who are delusional like that do crimes like this, and it is fascinating.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a bunch of stories that I just think are kind of funny. It's from the 7/18/83 tape that Nick made. And so this is the first story I would like to regale you with. Give me a second. So wait.
I'm not staying here when this is over. I hate this place now. It's still really pretty and everything, but God, today some little kid asked for his nail on A36 chestnut or something like that, birch. And I gave it to him. It was for his birthday card. And I handed him the mail, and he says, all right. He opened it up because it was supposed to be money or something, and I was walking down the street, and he says, thanks, Mrs. Downs. God, everything knows me, and I hate it.
What caught me about that one is she's like handing a little boy his first, like, a birthday card. And he, like, opens it in front of her, and he's like, yay! And then he's like, thanks, Mrs. Downs.
And she's like, how do you know me?
She was like, I hate that everybody knows me. Yeah. She's like, she just gave this little boy a joyful moment, and it's all about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like,
yeah, everybody
you don't
knows
see Danny anywhere in that little kid, what Danny could have become. Like, it's amazing.
Who's Danny?
Danny's her son that was paralyzed. But I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not expecting anybody to, like, have the same sort of, like, imagery, I guess, that I do, or feelings, but I don't know how you can, like, see a little boy happy and not think, Danny may never be that way.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I hate that you know me.
Exactly.
I hate it.
Why is everybody hassling me? Okay, so this next clip is going to be a little bit more about, like, I think the machinations around the 22, how she's trying to get Nick to deal with this.
In the beginning, that gun wasn't important. They didn't even ask me about that gun. Matter of fact, they never did ask me about that gun. I finally went to them because Steve told them that I had a gun, another gun.
Well, the 22.
Right.
Well, you told me you gave it back to Steve, but,
right.
Diane, I just, I saw that gun before he left. You took it to Arizona with you. If you gave it back to Steve, Steve would have said, yeah, I got it.
I didn't hand it to his hand.
Well, how'd you give it back to him then?
I put it in his truck.
Oh, Diane. How come every time I talk to you, you tell me it's something different?
Hey, I never told you I gave it to him.
You did.
I actually really like Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, honestly, he's so done with her. She does not realize it at all. The fact that she is in contact with him is enough for her to be like, I got him. Like, at the end of the calls, she'd be like, I love you. And I'm like, yeah, bye.
What is she
with her?
What is she talking about that she gave someone?
The 22, the gun.
Oh, and he's like,
is the murder weapon.
Right.
So continue to play it. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell him a week and a half before you left.
Right, I stuck it in his truck. You want to know the story about that gun?
Okay.
That gun was a gun that Steve got in a trade for a car, I don't know when, sometime after we were divorced.
Okay.
Whether you want to believe it or not, I am afraid of Steve. I act mean, but I am scared of him. He has given me reason to be absolutely terrified of him. As a matter of fact, the sheriff brought to mind something which I had forgotten. Steve put a gun to my head once and pulled the trigger, and it was empty. Scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, bet you would.
Yeah. So anyway, as far as I'm concerned, guns are dangerous, whether they're loaded or not. And I didn't like Steve having that gun around the house because he could come and use it on me. And he hated you enough, and he was angry at you enough that he would kill me just for the sake of killing me because I liked you instead of him.
Yeah, but at that point, you had the gun.
That's right. He took it back. I took it back again. I don't know how many times that gun went back and forth. At the last time, I took the gun and I hid it so he couldn't get it because I didn't want him using it on me. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm following what you're saying.
Can you
All right.
understand?
When I left, I didn't want the guns. As I said, guns are dangerous. I used the 22 for target shooting. The 38 was locked up so that somebody wouldn't get hurt with it. I didn't want the damn 22. That's why I offered to give it to you.
I know, I remember that too.
You said yes. Then you said no. You don't like guns. I said fine. I still wasn't going to take it with me, so I got rid of it. And since it was Steve's gun, I gave it back to him rather than somebody else. But I did not tell him that I gave it back to him because you and I were living together. I still didn't want him to come and take me out while he had the chance. Is that clear?
She's like,
is that confusing? Absolutely
like-
confusing thing clear.
yeah, he's like, I don't believe you. And she's like, well, it seems like you just don't get it. What are you,
And
some kind of idiot?
That's so par for the course, though, for this kind of personality.
Oh.
Because as you all might know, audience, shitheads, I love to watch when murder defendants testify in their own defense.
Yeah.
And they all, like all the ones I've seen, Anthony Tote, Robert Tejas, Nancy Brophy, they all take on this tone where it's just like, it's like, what? Why are you asking me that question? It's so, what? Huh? And it's so like across gender, across time, across personalities, people who are psychopathic always take that approach. They have no idea what they look like, and it is so damaging to them always.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just an example of like that very like common psychopathic behavior. And then here's the last Nick clip. Yeah, this one is interesting to me. I think it's more about Nick than it is about her.
And I don't understand, and I can't tell you anything because I can only give you half of the story, and that's what I've done, and that's...
And that's why I don't know what the hell's going on. That's why I'm asking all these goddamn questions.
Neither do I. I don't know what's going on.
Well, you know better than anybody.
What?
You know better than anybody what's going on.
No, I don't, because I don't know who's the... Never mind, it sounds ridiculous. I'm not even going to say it.
Well, say it. I mean, if it sounds ridiculous after you say it, I'll sure tell you.
I know you will. And it's true, so I don't want to say it because you'll say it's ridiculous. That's why I never...
But just say it.
God, Nick, I trusted you once, and I don't know if I could now. If I knew who did this, and I could prove it, I would. But I don't know who, and I don't know how to
Someone's
prove it.
got an icy drink.
So you don't know anything then.
Probably Nick.
Yes, I do.
Well, Dawn, you tell me you do, and you tell me you don't. Now and you see, that's what you've been doing.
I know what happened.
Well, you should. You were there.
Yeah. I guess what really is in my mind right now is that I know I didn't do it. Therefore, I know they can't prove that I did it. They can't throw me in jail. And that's all I'm worried about. Since I don't know who did it, I don't know who to tell them to look for. I'd rather ignore the whole thing and make sure that it never happens again.
Oh, Diane, you're crazy sometimes. You're real crazy.
See, I knew that's what you'd say.
If you know who did it...
I don't. If I did, I would tell them.
Oh, Jesus.
I've been trying to figure out who would have the most to gain.
Nobody. Ain't nobody having anything to gain by killing your kids.
That's right. It would have to be something crazy. Right?
Well, hell yeah. I mean, ain't nobody gonna make no money on it.
Not that I know of. Steve might. I don't know.
Well, how could he? Unless he had insurance policies on him.
Right. I think he did, but I don't know.
Well, and then he's not gonna make that much, not enough to justify shooting somebody.
That's right. So there had to be another reason.
But what? What's the reason?
I don't know yet. That's why I haven't
Oh,
told him.
Diane, you know damn well. You're just not telling me. That's fine. That's fine. You know, whether I'm looking at you or whether I'm on the telephone, I know when you're not telling me everything. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I'm sorry. I just know.
You know what?
What?
You know me better than anybody.
Probably so.
Then how come you think I did it?
Because everything points in your direction and you ain't told me nothing that changes it.
Yeah, that's what I love about the clip. He's just willing to accuse her outright.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I don't know, for some reason, I think that's cool.
Well, do you think no one else is talking to her like that?
What?
Or she didn't really have any friends, does she?
She doesn't. No, well, actually, here's the thing. Okay, now we can get to the whole thing about like Casey Anthony, and she actually like seemed to have like a good social circle. She was a postal worker.
Yeah.
She took her job very seriously. Apparently, she was quite ambitious because she specifically transferred from the Eugene post office to a smaller town one because she would have to like do more.
Yeah.
And she could get better at her job.
Oh.
Like, honestly, yeah.
Wow.
So that's the interest. And so later in prison, Diane would like take the psychopath test. And I think she got like maybe a 21 on it. People in prison, like male prisoners, will average like 40 if they're a psychopath. And like generally the median or the average for women is 16. So she's like 5 points above the average for a prison population. And not everybody's a psychopath, you know? So like she's kind of like, people are surprised that she's not that high up. But the reason is because she has no criminal history. She didn't steal. She didn't she wasn't an arsonist. Like that wasn't her form of drama. What she liked to do was fuck married men.
Yeah.
Yeah. She liked to destroy families.
She's looking for love or something.
She's a romantic.
Yeah.
She's an utter romantic.
Well,
much like Jodi Arias, I believe.
Right.
Because Jodi Arias had the same back. She had a previous relationship and she didn't have like that.
She had like
history.
a marijuana plant and that was her criminal history.
That was her criminal history. So it's very interesting. Even like Casey Anthony, she didn't have a criminal history, but she was stealing and she was lying all the time.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting thing to me.
Right.
Is like, how did you make it this far, Diane?
Yeah.
With the way that you talk and the things that you say, didn't somebody like catch on to you earlier and be like, let's not ever have her over again? But apparently she was friendly with everybody and people liked her.
Wow.
Yeah.
But she wasn't trying to hurt people all the time. That's the thing.
Well, she was trying to hurt other women.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she was trying to hurt people, but it was like in a very illicit, underhanded kind of way.
Well, there is a type of person who likes to pursue a man who is otherwise unavailable.
Yeah.
It's like they like the thrill of they can't be with me, but I know if they could, they would.
Exactly.
Even though it's like, then just go get someone who's available.
But that's not
but
fun.
They don't. Yeah.
Because you're not destroying people's lives.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I think it's a power thing. And
well,
I think
a lot of us women think that, that's a normal way to be treated. And so, but then it's like, then you get to one up yourself over some other woman and you also are sneaking around or whatever it is.
Oh, she loves the thrill of it all. Like she's a walking cluster B personality disorder. Definitely psychopathic. No empathy, no remorse, obviously. Histrionic? Definitely. She's living, like she's spinning fantasies constantly. This fantasy with Nick is a very idealized perfect love sort of thing, which is like histrionic and kind of narcissistic. But she doesn't seem to need, like with a lot of narcissistic people, It's very much about like the grandiosity, and they constantly need supply in the form of like money in order to project status. She doesn't need that. That's not her jam. So I just find that also very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the same thing with like, Casey and Jody. Like that was also not their thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they were like, it was more like, this is getting in the way of my life. So it just goes away. But it's so interesting to me, the different gradations and mixtures of cluster B personality disorders is just fascinating to me. Okay, so that's a little bit about...
all are desperate for love.
Yeah, but some of them are like desperate for money or like, praise, constant praise. Know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So there is I just want to play like a little bit of the beginning of this. There is an infamous 1984 interview with Anne Bradley. And I'm just going to play like the beginning. I think it's queued up already. And this was an interview that went out on television. And it was eventually used at her trial in order to help convict her.
Somebody did something. I'm
That's
not
her
about to
dad.
hesitate to say they didn't. I'll
It's
tell
just
them
an
that
intro
I think
into
they
the
did. I'd say the
actual
same
interview.
thing again if I believed it. I've had plenty of opportunity to follow, and that's one of the main reasons, I guess, for peace of mind. I've followed through, and I know that my daughter didn't do it.
I have been through that night so many times. I've even been through it with my psychologist. It's very hard. It's very tearful. There are a lot of memories that, I don't know. A lot of people, when something traumatic happens to them, they suppress it immediately. I kept those memories because I knew that I was the only person that was going to be able to tell them what happened when we got to the hospital. And when I got there, the first thing I said was, call the doctors. Second thing was the blood type. Third thing was call the cops because they've got to find him. And so I had to remember as much as I could remember. When this man shot my daughter, my first reaction was to snap back to my childhood, to the pain that had happened to me back then, my marriage, my entrapment by society. This man was bigger than me. He was stronger than me. He had more power because he had a gun. He was in control and I was not. And there was nothing I could do. And I stood there and I looked at Christy reaching, and the blood that just kept gushing out of her mouth. And what do? You just stand there trapped. And then the gun kept firing and firing and firing. And it was monotonous. It just kept going. It was like a slow motion picture.
That was an interview she did on television in order to defend herself.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What? It was monotonous?
A lot of people point out, it's like, how could you describe it as monotonous when somebody is like shooting your children? It was boring.
Making you worried for your children.
Yeah, he was just making me wait. I mean, that's kind of what it is. And then she tries to recast herself as a feminist hero.
She does?
No, when she's talking, I was feeling my entrapment by society, and this was a man, and he was bigger than me. But I was like, no.
Right.
No, you can't do that to me. Yeah, like that was going through her mind.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Men are always trying to keep me down, especially when they shoot my kids. You know how men are just awful.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, so that's like the last like footage. So cut to, she was arrested February 28th, 1984. So like 9 months. They had time to, first of all, the whole story of Christy's recovery of her speech is a whole other thing. With the children, there's like a whole side story, and it's actually kind of beautiful. Hoogie, who I think is the prosecutor who prosecuted Diane Downs, adopted Danny and Christy.
Oh.
And he immediately got like somebody he knew was like great with children and had a background in social services to sort of like draw, like, first of all, they had to like figure out, she had to learn how to speak again. Yeah. And then when she did that, they kind of had to draw it out of her. So what they would do is they let her draw the scene. They would let her like write things down about like who did it, but she never had to show them. She could like fold it up and put it in the fireplace. And eventually she got comfortable and she trusted them, and she finally handed them a piece of paper that said mom.
Well, how did they know that she was like too afraid to say it? Like, we're going to let you draw it, but we're not going to look at it.
Interestingly enough, Fred had seen Diane Fred was by the bedside of the children of Christy, and Diane was there too. And Diane didn't know who he was. He was like set dressing. He was like another cop, whatever. She didn't care. She goes up to her kid, and the heart rate monitor jacks up. He was like, she is scared of her mother. And so that's why he was like, all right, we're going to have to like take this real slow. Obviously, she's an 8-year-old girl, but she testifies against her mom.
Wow.
At, what is she, 9 at that point? And she was guilty on all charges on June 17th, 1984, which is like just a year and a month after it happened. I mean, that's amazing to me. And I looked it up just to be like, why was it so fast from like, murder to conviction? And they were basically like, Google AI was like, seriously? It was so obvious that she did it. They had 9 months to put a case together. They got into a court. It was just like done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually it takes like at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it can take more if you have like a defendant who's like playing the legal system and filing spurious motions in order to delay.
Right.
Which they often do. But just to close this out, we're going to look at this 1988 interview with Oprah.
No!
It's Diane on like a TV screen.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's Ann Rule.
Wow.
Ann Rule is there, and we're going to hear her like engage. And also, if you look at this clip, Oprah's hair is fucking glorious.
Really?
You're going to see it. It's 80s Oprah hair all over the place.
Talking to Diane Downs, serving a life plus 65-year sentence.
Yeah.
It's written about in the book Small Sacrifices. Diane is accused of shooting her 3 children, killing one of them. A lot of people can't understand, Diane, why you'd be out on a dark road and stop for a stranger.
Well, we were always out on dark roads, light roads, city roads, country roads. I was a single woman. I had been divorced for a couple of years, and quite frankly, I got pretty used to driving by myself with the kids.
So late at night, 9:30, 9:45, 9:50, 10 o'clock at night, the stranger is in the middle of the road, so it didn't even occur to you that maybe I shouldn't stop?
Well, I'd picked up many hitchhikers before. This man was not a hitchhiker, but I had picked up hitchhikers before, and nobody ever shot us before. And
you can hear the people in the audience go, huh.
Yeah, no.
You picked up hitchhikers?
Yeah, they're very reactive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody had ever been, no strange man had ever treated me or my children in such a way, and I just had no preconceived notion that he might do those things.
How did this man know your children were in the car? Because if the children were sleeping and lying down in the back of the car, it's dark on the road, how would he know to reach into the car and shoot 3 children separately?
Oprah, I can only give you my conclusion as to what I think might have happened, because I don't know. I didn't take the time to ask him how or why. But when he got inside the car, there was a light on inside the car. He could have easily seen the children. If you want an opinion, in my opinion, it is possible. There were witnesses that saw him out there on the road that night, about 30 people that saw him, and all agreed that he looked like he was drugged in some way. It is very possible.
Where are those 30 people, Diane? This is the first time I heard that.
Anne is not going to tell you about that, but it's in the transcript. That's why I say best kept secrets. It's going to tell you all the things. It's the best kept secrets of Ann Rule's book, basically. All the things that you were never told. There were 30 people. Mr. Wilson is a retired man. He was at a country club, a golfing country club, with 30 men who saw him. There are also 2 other people who passed him on the road.
That's in the book. That's in the book. And they went and talked. And they went and talked to this man who Mr. Wilson saw.
No.
The police
they sure
ruled him
didn't.
out. Let me just tell you what I read.
Yes,
they went and talked to the detectives. Went and talked to the man that Mr. Wilson allegedly saw, because Mr. Wilson then, several days later, remembered that somebody who lived down the road fit the description, and so they had a name. They went and talked to the man and ruled the man out because the man had such a heavy lisp. And when they spoke to you, the detective said that you said there was no accent, there was no speech defect or anything that distinguished this man's voice from anybody else's. And so this man that you're talking about was ruled out because of his speech.
No, Ann Rule tells you that, but Mr. Wilson testified 1 year later that to the best of his knowledge, he has never seen the man that he saw on the road that night, and he wasn't even sure if he could identify him at that point. And that was 1 year later. So if Anna's saying that he said that he contacted this gentleman, that he identified him, and that he ruled him out at that time, she's fabricating again.
No, the detectives did, not Mr. Wilson. The detectives did. And you want to respond to that?
Well, I reported exactly what Mr. Wilson told in the courtroom.
Oh, geez, it's in the transcript, Anne.
Diane, what happens in the courtroom is in the transcript. I have the transcripts, true. I was there.
No, you don't have the transcript. Why do you tell the people these things?
So you say she doesn't have the transcript.
She doesn't.
And she says she does.
She doesn't. She asked me to provide her with my copy of the transcript, and I said no.
Diane, you asked me to provide you with my copy of the transcript.
Oh, cool, Anne. I can't believe you're saying that. I can't believe you're saying that.
Can you just recap? She's saying that Anne is lying about or
Oh,
whatever.
she says that Anne is lying about the fact that the cops went to the guy and he like had a lisp and everything. And she's just, it's hard to take.
She still is trying to claim she thinks he's the guy.
Yeah, that
And
like
they're
that
like-
crazy guy who would like shoot your horse and, break into your house.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's still on that. I just thought it was really
Okay.
funny where Anne was like, "No, you asked me."
Yeah.
in her like little baby voice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's just like that's a sampling of what we can find on Diane Downs TV. If you're interested, it's all her interrogations.
Yeah.
And it's her personal recorded diary entries, which I have not gotten to yet, but I cannot
How
fucking
did
wait.
she record diary entries? Did they give her a tape recorder?
I guess she had a tape
Yeah, they were
recorder.
like, well, you can't
Yeah.
murder someone in prison with this.
Yeah. No, well, honestly, she was not in prison. She did not get arrested until like the next year in February.
Oh,
She
wow.
had that whole 9 months. She was free. She was working.
Oh, my God.
And
Because
then
if you get
June
indicted
17th
by a grand jury, aren't you usually in prison?
I don't know. I don't think she was
Just
in prison.
depends.
Yeah.
They
because
probably
she
were
wasn't
like-
officially she says that they waited
Yeah.
after the grand jury and she wasn't arrested until February.
And they probably were like, she's not a danger.
I mean, she's probably one of the most dangerous people you'll ever meet because she'll do anything to anybody if you inconvenience her slightly.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's like a misogyny of yore. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, she's a woman. What can she do?
Yeah.
I'm like, she can fucking shoot her kids.
Well,
at
can
point
you
blank.
go get her gun?
Yeah.
At least take her gun away.
Yeah. Speaking of Oprah, I have another little thing.
I see it.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so recently, Miss Oprah went on, I think it was like a Vanity Fair sort of thing, and it's like a review of like the highlights of her career, all the interviews. that
Vogue
she
does
did.
that too. So it's one of those.
Yeah.
Starts with a V.
So interestingly,
Yeah.
they put in the Meghan Markle and Harry interview.
And the meme that became famous, were you silent or were you silenced?
Let's see.
I need to do this for my family. This is not a surprise to anybody. It's really sad that it's got to this point, but I've got to do something for my own mental health, for my wife's, and for Archie's as well, because I could see where this was headed.
They didn't want him to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security.
What?
It was really hard.
Well, first of all, this is in Montecito. It's just right down the street from them. It's right down the street from me. This had been postponed probably 3 times because this was 2021. I was still in my crazy I can't leave the house period. So I didn't leave the house for 322 days. By the time we finally sat down, I think they were both ready. They didn't know, obviously, anything that I was going to ask them, but I had said to them ahead of time, I'm going to try to cover everything. This interview took 3.5 hours. And as is always the case for me, I want it to be a win-win for you. So I was just trying to carefully go through everything that had come up in the past.
I've always valued independence. I've always been outspoken, especially about women's rights. I mean, that's the sad irony of the last 4 years is I've advocated for so long for women to use their voice. And then I was silent.
Were you silent or were you silenced?
The latter.
Okay. Very nice. I don't think I've done it since. I don't know where the hell that came from.
She's talking about emotions.
Okay. I wanted to be clear because was she silenced? Were people telling her not to talk? That's why I said that. I said it for clarification because I didn't want later to hear, well, no, it wasn't that. It really was that I was silenced. They wouldn't let me talk. So it was all for clarification.
So yeah, now she was just asking a follow-up question.
But I'm so confused. Why does she seem defensive about it? You know?
Because everybody hates them now.
Yeah.
Everybody who helped them now has to like eschew them because they're so toxic in Hollywood right now.
So is that what Oprah's trying to do?
That's what she's trying. She's trying to keep them here's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
She's trying to keep them at an arm's length, which is what everybody is doing. Ted Sarandos and his spouse from Netflix, they're like, we're not going to give you a special, but we'll still give you like a first look deal.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep them
pilot.
on the string because they know a divorce is nigh.
Really?
Oh, this cannot last.
Okay.
And so everybody is trying to be like, keep him at a distance, but also keep him on a string. Because when the divorce happens, cha-ching. The interviews, the books.
Right.
It's going to be amazing.
Well, here's what I noticed watching that clip again is Meghan was like, I've always stood up for women. And then she was like, and then I was. And she did the motion first, like zip the lip.
Oh,
she was like, and then I was silent. And then Oprah picked up on like, well, were you just being silent or were you being told to be silent?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I was being told. It's like, I just couldn't understand why Oprah saying this was like a big deal. But
because
she's distancing herself.
She's distancing herself from this. You don't know why it's a big deal, whether she asked like the question about silence or silenced.
Yeah.
Here's what I think.
Okay.
It's because Oprah is playing into their narrative. She's actually like giving Meghan a sort of a boost by saying, were you silent or were you silenced? Whose fault with it? She's trying to like get gossip out of her.
Yeah.
It's not a follow-up question, Oprah. You're just trying to make things more like, you're trying to get a quote.
Right.
You're trying to get like a reel out of it.
Yeah.
You know? So something happened in between 1988 and 2021 where Oprah forgot how to ask follow-up questions.
Because she was doing so good with Diane.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just thought it was like an interesting juxtaposition.
Yeah. Like, why didn't she come back then with, how were you being silenced?
Yeah, no,
you know?
who was silencing you?
Yeah.
Because we never got who.
No.
And so it was just left to interpretation. Was it Philip? Was it Catherine? And
Right.
everybody is going to be like, it was Catherine.
Yeah, that bitch.
That's what, yes, exactly. And Oprah knows that.
Uh-huh.
She knows it. So
But
this was not honorable.
I think I remember the talk at the time was like, maybe Meghan did point the finger and they took it out. Like the lawyer watched it and said, we shouldn't say this.
Oh, fair enough.
You
fair
know?
enough. Yeah. But I mean, I still think there were follow-up questions to be had. And
right. You could have done a couple different ones that maybe wouldn't be too,
yeah.
I don't know,
I just
pointing the finger.
Yeah, but just like all neutrality is gone with the way she approached that.
Oh.
Because she's basically saying, oh, but wait, was it worse than you said? And Meghan's like, yes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Anyway, I loved it.
Did you get that book you had been obsessed with that was about to come out?
Oh, Betrayal?
Yeah.
Was it Betrayal or was it Revenge? I did, and the thing is, it's very disappointing.
Really?
It's just a retread of like
everything.
It's a retread of everything, and then it kind of like updates, and it's just like, well, we've all heard about it.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing special. You know, there's no like secrets revealed, or you don't learn anything more about their marriage. So
okay,
it was not that interesting, quite frankly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good to know.
I did love it though.
Did you see she's in Australia on like the Top Chef show or whatever?
I did.
And there's weird clips coming out on social media. Like she's standing there waiting to judge. And then someone brings her phone and is like, Harry's on FaceTime. And she's like, oh my God, you guys, my husband is here.
Because that's her only claim to fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is her connection to the royal
also,
family.
he ain't there, girl. He's just on the phone.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Anyway, I mean, you know, two moments where Oprah interviewed a psychopath. And they were quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's Diane Downs. She's hungry like a wolf.
Well, and we've talked about her so many times that
Meghan Markle?
we needed Diane.
Yeah.
We needed to finally close the loop
Have
on
we
that.
talked about her a lot?
Yeah, she comes up for
that's-
you a
know,
lot.
She's
You go,
just
that's like Diane Downs.
she's in there.
She's like Diane Downs.
Really?
Yeah, you
I
do
don't
it all
remember.
the time.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Now you know what I'm talking about, everybody.
Now you know.
All right.
The more you know.
All right. Where can we be found?
On Instagram, Online Bullshit Pod.
And where else?
On Reddit, Online BS Pod.
Yay!
We're going to give you a long girth. Remember whatever you said? A wide berth.
A wide berth.
Over
Yeah.
on Reddit.
Over on Reddit. Thank you, everybody, for listening to My Latest Obsession.
Oh, and on Patreon.
Oh, and on Patreon.
We're going to go do another episode of Serial, and we're almost at the end.
Yeah, we're on episode 11.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So check that out.
Tell me about this idea I just had.
Okay.
What if we go listen to the Patreon episodes where TCO covered Serial? Because they were still under the spell back then.
Oh.
Are you intrigued?
Wait, TCL?
TCO.
TCO, True Crime. Yeah, let's do it. I haven't listened to them since, the beginning
We'll
of this.
resubscribe.
Okay.
Just to listen to
Yeah.
them. So
No,
I
that would
just
be
wanna
good.
give a little recap to
Because they're all about, tell us what to do, Rabia. I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Rabia, how?
Yes, exactly.
Rabia.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Where has your star fucking gotten you now? All right.
Rabia?
No, Patrick and Jillian. They're always name dropping, and then it's like they have a fight with that person and you never hear about them again.
Except for Jillian and Damien Eccles.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They're her dear friends.
Of course. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Scrolling through my feed, all I see is bullshit, fake news, clickbait. Gotta sift through all of it. I share, retweet, trying to keep up with the trends, but it's all just a facade, man. It's all pretend. Online bullshit, that's all it is. You say you're living large, but I know it's just a myth. Online bullshit, can't you see? We're all caught up in the nonsense. It's time to break free.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.